The opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
Scarefest Television is evolving, and you can be a part of that journey. Our fans are submitting great content, and that content is driving the show forward. Do you have an idea for a Scarefest Television segment? Much of what you see during the show wasn't even our idea. It came directly from the fans of the Scarefest, and the fans know what the fans want to see. Of course, we are still looking for makeup and horror effect videos, horror movie shorts, and paranormal location segments, but we are open to all ideas. Contact us at scarefestradio@gmail.com and become a part of something big. And hello and welcome everyone to Scarefest Television, the first episode of 2020. And of course, to start the new year off right, our guest tonight gets sick and cannot be on the air. Jessica, if you happen to hear this, we hope you feel better soon. She did give me a heads up that she wasn't feeling good, so we were just going to shorten the interview a little bit tonight. And then found out about an hour before showtime that she had lost her voice, and it was no longer a possibility to have her on the air. But fortunately, we decided to go ahead and drag Chad in here and do a bullshit session, and everybody gets to see his lovely face and my lovely winter beard that is still growing. I don't know where I'm going to take this, Chad. I don't know how far I should go. I'm
thinking Mountain Monsters level, man. Let it go down to the belly button.
No, I ain't gonna do that. There's too much grooming involved. Have you ever seen me eating this thing already? It's like, if there are any crumbs, I can feed birds for a week.
See, we're already into horror tonight, and we don't even have a guest.
But now you gotta admit, that mullet, I might have to grow my mullet back. That mullet picture was very, very popular.
If you hadn't told me it was you, I would have swore it was Keith Whitley.
You
were ready to go.
I was a damn fine-looking man in my ute, as we say. And we're testing tonight. One thing we're doing tonight, I am testing a chat interface that actually lets me allegedly see all the Facebook and Twitter chat in real time, more or less, all in one spot where I just have to look in one place. And one of the phones didn't get muted. But so Glenn, konnichiwa. See, I can see that. So what we're going to do tonight, everybody, we are just going to, talk about some things that the new year is taking off with a struggle, you might say. First thing I want to address, and Chad hadn't even seen the article. There was an article in the Lexington Herald, and you can find it online if you haven't used up your 3 to 4 views of the freaking newspaper. That the construction on the center, on the Civic Center or Convention Center, is running behind. Now, yes, when I saw the headline, it freaked me the hell out. But after I read the article, the way they describe it, they're not really talking about our main floor being part of that. Our main floor, I think, is just getting remodeled. In other words, UK, basically what it boils down to is UK wants our part done So if anything is done, our part should be done. They were talking about all the new parts and the amenities and like it's looking really sad though, Chad, for the speaker rooms.
I assume that that's going to be a struggle, and hopefully that works out, because that's always one of the better parts of the con is the speakers that they're able to get. But yeah, I mean, essentially, we need a box with some electricity and maybe a bathroom. So hopefully they can pull that together.
I hadn't even thought about that little aspect of the whole cluster. Now that's one of our announcements tonight, everybody. If you're interested in speaking at Scarefest, if you will go to thescarefest.com, the speaker application is now online. That being said, if you're wanting to speak, you better fluff the edges and put a mint on the pillow, because of the limited space we're going to have for 2020 as far as speakers. It's gonna be a tight market. I think that's a good way to put it. It's going to be a buyer's market.
Well, yeah, there's always such a great crop. So with limited availability of space, it's going to be kind of the most requested topics and the people who are got good presentations this year. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, but Amber's kind of already hitting around. It's going to be whoever had the fullest rooms last year. So that leaves me the hell out of it. I mean, I had a good crowd. Don't get me wrong. I was tickled to death with the crowd that I had, but it was not standing room only. Just to be clear. So if you are interested in speaking at the Scarefest, I think the deadline's going to be like May 31st. So he was able to roll the deadline back because we've moved the con back. I would suggest a lot. Stephanie Bingham, where you just always just write your name in and just say, I'll come if you want me to. Make her work for it this year. Actually, if I'd have thought, Stephanie Bingham probably could have been our guest tonight within 1 hour's notice, because I've never seen the girl not look like she's just ready to go out on the town for the evening.
I agree. I mean, do you give anybody more than an hour notice, Wes? I don't think I've had much more than that anytime I've been on this show.
Now, that is no longer true, and you know it. Hey, and by the way, okay, you want to play that game? I'm just going to point out we've had 2 guests cancel in the last year. Guess who was the co-host both times?
Me, I bring the bad luck.
Maybe it's you, dude. Maybe it's you.
It is. Nobody wants to talk to me.
I'm just going to point that out.
My wife tells me that all the time. Nobody wants to talk to me.
You are the albatross of Scarefest television. The other thing, while we're on this topic of applications, volunteers. Now, the volunteer applications have finally went online. We just picked a really crappy time to get that ready. We did it right at the holidays, and nobody was home to approve it. But anyway, the volunteer applications are online now. Go to thescarefest.com, click volunteers, and you'll find it. If you're interested in volunteering for the Scarefest, I actually pulled up the volunteer app here. One thing, I want everybody, unless you really have something important, one of the questions is additional information we need to know. And I want everyone to put, Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. Just, that's what I put. But the thing about it, you might not even think about all the departments, all the different things that we need volunteers for. And it does list them out pretty good. I mean, some things are kind of folded in, like, God, media covers a third of the convention anymore. But we've got the media department. You've got your social media, but you got your Facebook. We got street team. There's one question. Now, the reason I point this out, though, Chad, I want your input on this.
Okay.
One of the volunteer sections is the tattoo area.
Yeah. I saw that too.
Do they need volunteers just to stand out in the aisle and try to talk talk you out of it, or?
I thought it was to give tattoos. I was signing up for that.
Had not thought of that. So yes, if you aspire to be a tattoo artist, here's your chance. You can go in as a volunteer. No, I'm assuming that they need a little crowd control to watch and make sure people don't get in the way and crap. But yeah, I saw that. I'm like, we got one person that books a tattoo artist. What the hell else is there to do? She will probably inform me of the multitude of duties that are required there. Mop up blood, that kind of thing.
Carry bandages.
Yeah.
But yeah, I noticed that too. I was kind of wondering. I will say that anybody who's thinking about volunteering, if you haven't in the past, it is one of the best groups of people you will ever be around and get to know. So I highly encourage anybody who's thinking about it to fill out an application and get involved. It's a great group of people. It's a great organization, and it's a good way to kind of help Scarefest keep going.
Present company accounted for, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah,
nobody.
See, now when I first came on board, of course, I was with Scarefest Radio. I didn't even have to go to the meetings. I had a sweet deal. But now they make me actually show up and everything. But
there does tend to be a very rapid escalation of responsibility as you get involved at Scarefest.
Good point. So anyway, that was our other big thing we wanted to point out, is that and that's something people keep asking about, was the volunteer and the speaker applications. Well, they are out there now, so let's get that rolling. The other thing Chad and I were talking about, I probably have to milk that out longer, but it got dull real quick. Now, for one thing, I have been productive. I don't know if anybody's noticed on Scarefest Television on the website, scarefestradio.com. I have written a couple of movie reviews. I'm actually, since I sit around watching TV all the time this time of year anyway, I decided to be productive about it. Or at least, that way I can at least make sure Netflix can come off my taxes.
There you go.
I reviewed Aquaman. Yeah, I know it's not a horror movie, as I pointed out in the article. Suck it. Then last week, well, actually I posted it this week, Kong Skull Island. Have you seen that, Chad?
It's been a while. But yeah, I watched it when it first came out.
Why didn't that movie do better in theaters?
I think there's just been so many King Kong versions now. I think people are a little. I know it was kind of a different take on it.
Well, see, that's what Anita thought maybe it was, and I'm like, but you would think even if it had a slow opening weekend, this take was so different from the others, and I will say quite entertaining. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked it.
But it was like it went to theaters, and 2 weeks later you didn't even hear of it ever again. So, Kong Skull Island. My own personal take on Kong Skull Island is up on the website. And Aquaman. I like the hell out of Aquaman. I'll admit it. But now what we were really talking about, a couple of shows that's out now. Actually, we'll do that when we come back from commercial break. You got your commercial loaded? Everybody, we'll be right back, and we're going to tell you what we've been watching on TV. Everyone is talking about CBD oil, and it seems like almost everyone is using it. The research is ongoing, but the apparent health benefits are overwhelming. If you're going to use CBD products, though, what brand should you buy? First, find out where the hemp was grown. Imports are flooding the market. How potent is it? Look for a brand that plainly states its concentration on the label. And look for full-spectrum CBD. This means the oil contains CBD and all the other cannabinoids, terpenes, and nutrients that are found in the entire cannabis plant. Look for Blue Leaf CBD oil. Blue Leaf Naturals is a Kentucky proud company. They use only Kentucky-grown hemp, supporting Kentucky farmers and businesses. Visit their website at blueleafcbd.com now and use the code SMILE at checkout for free shipping. And welcome back to Scarefest Television, everybody. While we were at commercial break, I caught up on what everyone's discussing in the chat room. And first of all, Chris Sutton, maybe I do have the hots for Jason Momoa. I could do worse. Just saying.
Could he, though?
Glenn, well, you know. It's the beard. It's the beard. And Glenn Cochran, who does our movie reviews from Down Under, he also gave full props to Kong Skull Island and Godzilla vs. Kong. I gotta watch the new Godzilla movie first. Funny side story: I ordered the wrong freaking movie on DVD. I've got what is it, like 1953?
The original?
The original. I thought I had, because it was in my suggested list, and so I'm like, I just watched, there's like a series of them, Monster, they're actually doing them in a series, and I said, there's the next one, and I clicked it, and then I looked at my queue the other night at what was home, and it said Godzilla 1953 or 58 or something. I said,
well, you need to go back and get your basics down before you move to the more advanced stuff.
Well, I've watched it. Props to channel in our local TV. It's what's Comet TV is what it is. It's channel 56-2. And they have a lot of old monster movies. I've been getting to see old episodes of, like, they did have Ultraman, I think, for a while. Giant Robot. I think it's called Giant Robot. Oh my God, that is the worst Japanese TV show I've ever seen in my life, as far as special effects and storyline and everything. But it is but they got it, and and I'll sit and watch 15 minutes of it at least once a week. Just to cheer myself up. We'll start with the one you've been watching. Now, how far along in Hellier are you?
I am all the way through it.
You did? Okay, you're all the way through season 2. Now, we got to be careful not to drop spoilers here. Although I don't think there's really too much to spoil in that. We talked about it before the show. Now, I started off, I really liked season 1 early on. And it just seemed to me that the longer the season went, because they're dealing with all these different tangents and different directions that their investigation was taking them, I felt like season 1 lost focus. And so I wasn't, at the end of the season, I said, yeah, well, okay, they did a nice job. Now season 2 though, they hit the damn streak running, and I binged that in like 2 days. They redeemed themselves for me personally in season 2. Did you feel the same way about season 1?
I did, and I mean, they talked about it as they were making it, and I've seen them do some talks at some cons too, that they were trying to give a real-time accounting of investigating instead of just showing the highlights and what happened. They wanted to show the dead ends, but yeah, as a viewer, if you weren't extremely interested, it would start to drag after a few episodes. But the subject matter really pulled me in on it. The only thing, and we talked about this a little, that I will say for anybody who's thinking about watching it is it does assume that you have a pretty thorough background of ufology and various cryptids. So if you're not really up to speed on some of that stuff, you might need to pause it some and Google some stuff to know what's going on.
Yeah, there was a couple of times they got away from me. I'll admit it was like, I know this story. But no, you are definitely right on that. For the hardcore Fordian, as they say, I'm sure it's a delight all the way through.
Yeah.
But I did, like I said, especially in season 1, I understand what they were trying to do, but at the same time, now maybe this is just now. Okay, now this actually maybe I should defer to them on this, because if I go to a town to investigate little green men, and my investigation takes me someplace completely unrelated to little green men, I'll probably just cuss and come home. I mean, in other words, that's why I never did mind the word ghost hunter, because that's what I'm hunting for. And they're like, what if you find demons or aliens or whatever? I said, well, that's not what I'm hunting for. I'm ghost hunting.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
That's one of the reasons I think that there was an interesting take on it, is that they just followed where the leads took them instead of, cutting it off and say, well, it's not what we thought it was. They kept going and following every possible. And I mean, season 2 leaves it open that there's still more to be done.
Oh yeah, so. But at least it did seem a little more focused. In other words, all these synchronicities were coming together. In other words, they kind of spread out. Now everything looks like it's coming back together.
I will say that's the only other part. My wife and I threatened to turn the word synchronicity into a drinking game.
Yeah, that's. I've always been torn on that. Yes, there are. Some people say there are no coincidences. Oh, hell yes, there are. But at the same time, their take on it. I'm giving my approval to the show overall. If you don't like season 1 when you start watching it, ride the wave out, because it will prepare you for season 2, and season 2 is worth the watch. Absolutely.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Now the other one, this let's see, I've watched. What all have I watched? Yes, I watched The Witcher. It is way too complicated to even begin to review The Witcher. And anybody
I got
that has
2 episodes in.
Turn your subtitles on, Chad.
Ah.
It will make the story so much stand out for you so much more, because the first several episodes, I'm like, what? What did they say? There are some accents. You think I have an accent? No, they have accents. I've never had a harder time understanding English in my life. So yeah, turn your subtitles on. I did learn that, but otherwise, I got nothing against the show. I loved it. I mean, it was great mythology. Now, I bet if you played the role player games that it's kind of based on, I dare say you would just like want to pleasure yourself while it's on. But we watched that, and then just on a whim, because it's not my normal thing, I watched the limited series Dracula. Chad's in the middle of it, so I got to be really careful not to spoil it for him. But you're.
I read the book, so.
Well, no way. You read the original book or the book that this is based on, because they've still kind of a generic title.
Yeah, I read the original book. So
Bram Stoker's in the original German.
Yeah, not quite that original, but yeah, I'm 5 episodes in.
Was there that
somewhere
many
in
episodes? Hell, I didn't even realize there was that many episodes.
I'm at around 4. So I don't know. I may be coming to the end. I never looked to see how many there were, but
I'll have to go back and make sure I didn't actually miss something. Because it seemed to me like it was boom, 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 and I was done.
It's an interesting take. They twist it some, and it's I've really enjoyed it so far.
I don't think I've ever seen a depiction of Dracula that was any better in a way of being both entertaining and creepy as hell. The actor, and I'm not going to look it up. He nailed it. He's good looking enough to be believable as a. I mean, you want Dracula to be a little sexy, but not sparkle in the daylight sexy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he pulls off that balance between charming and creepy, which
Very well.
was kind of the original character. Even though they changed the story some, there's a lot of it that does stay true to the original story, and kind of his personality and demeanor kind of fits in with the original idea.
Yeah, the only thing, and now this is something through movie magic they can actually fix, as in they can say, "Oh, screw it, we'll just go ahead and do it anyway." I'm not going to say I didn't like the ending. It's more of a matter of I didn't like that it ended. I was so engaged by the character wanting to know what the hell this mother was going to do next that the way they ended it just kind of, it was like, how you going to write yourself out of that box? But it is Dracula. It is Dracula.
Yeah. I can't wait to get there and see how it wraps up.
But so we've. Have I watched anything that I didn't like? Now the other one we just started on is V Wars on Netflix. I'm only 2 episodes in, so I don't have a solid take on it. But so far, I like it. I'm afraid it might get it. It feels a little cliche in a lot of ways. So they're going to have to come up with some good storyline. Otherwise, it's just pretty much going to be another something you'd see on Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah,
I
haven't picked that one up yet, so I'll have to go look for it.
It's almost it's a more, I guess you would say it falls between The Walking Dead and what was the other vampire show we watched and finally got tired of it?
True Blood?
No, not True Blood. Eric, I bet you know, you're in the chat room. The other vampire series where they blew up New York or set off the atom bomb and made everything dark so that they wouldn't cook in the sunlight. That one, I enjoyed that one, season 1, and then maybe even season 2. I forget how many seasons it was, but then the longer I watched it, it was just like, God, this is just so depressing. And probably it's like The Walking Dead, where you had 2 seasons there where it was like, God, will you quit killing people? You need somebody left to breed. So yeah, it kind of falls a lot in common with both the storylines of both of those, just so you know. And yeah, Sharon Sutton's Twilight. Although I do have a lot of requests for me to watch the Twilight series and do movie reviews on them. So I'm gonna do that one of these days, just when I have extra time on my hands. So there's our movie reviews for the night, other than what, of course, our segments are bringing in the next half hour. Because our guest did have to cancel tonight, and once again, very sorry to hear that Jessica got sick. Jessica, I think it's JessicaNoel.com. If you Google her, it'll pull up her website. You won't believe all the stuff this woman is into. But she's part of the Bardstown podcast that we talked about a month or so ago. She she has her own podcast, pretty much, that she's the star of the show. She's got a whole bunch more that she produces and writes for. So we are going to have her on just as soon as she's healthy, hopefully in February. Hopefully we're going to go ahead and get her booked up, because by all indications, she's a very, very engaging and talented woman. And I just wanted, I like talking to people with real talent versus what we just kind of attract amongst ourselves.
I can't wait to interview her. Just the stuff I've listened to and seen that she's been a part of, it's very high quality stuff and very engaging. So I can't wait to actually talk to her for a little while.
So everybody, what we're going to do now, and this was why I originally started looking for little segments to go into the show. We're gonna go into our segment section, and every now and then me and Chad will pop in and make commentary or whatever if we need to. And then don't forget the Thing From the Other Side. Towards the end of this half hour, we do have the Thing From the Other Side. That's coming up from Miles Bellar that we had on the show before. He would have probably come on tonight, but Chad and me we're the people that interviewed him last time. I said, it's kind of be the same interview again. So let's, so we skipped having him back on so quick because he was just on a month or two ago.
Yeah.
But Miles Bellar, talented young filmmaker. He's got a bright future ahead of him. And so we will be watching The Thing from the Otherside. Stick around for that. But right now we got a quick commercial break, and then we're going to go into some of our segments. Do you feel lost in life? Do you seem to be stuck in emotions that are not yours? Is your home not the sanctuary it should be? Contact Spirit Mechanics, where they take a team approach to your metaphysical and spiritual problems. Spirit Mechanics specializes in aura cleansing, stone attunement, attachment removal, and house cleansings. Spirit Mechanics tailors their approach to your individual spiritual path and needs. Now find them monthly at the Central Kentucky Mystical Market in Lexington. Or on Facebook by searching Spirit Mechanics, that's MECHANIX. Spirit Mechanics, for your spiritual health and well-being. This week in horror and paranormal history, we begin right here in Kentucky in the year 1948, where 25-year-old pilot, National Guard Captain Thomas Mantell, is sent out in his plane to pursue an unidentified flying object. Sadly, before he can fully identify the object, Mantell passes out due to high altitudes and low oxygen, loses control of the plane, and crashes. The case was the first ever UFO sighting and pursuit that resulted in someone's death, and due to that, this has become one of the most publicized UFO cases in history and helped shape the UFO phenomenon in the public eye as we know it today. Horror movie history this week brings us a B-movie cult classic that is known for being rated one of the worst films in history. Leprechaun was released this week back in 1993, and despite the cheesy acting, bad special effects, and over-the-top bad one-liners, this film is wildly popular and will definitely give you a good laugh. Leprechaun was also Jennifer Aniston's first big-screen appearance before she became a household name. Maybe that little evil bastard really was lucky after all.
G'day Scarefest fans, Glenn here from fakechamps.net. Wishing you all a happy new year. I hope you had a fantastic holiday period, celebrating whatever it is you celebrate. I hope it was good, and I hope you're ready to bring in 2020 with a whole lot of fantastic Aussie horror films. I've got heaps of them lined up for you, and we're going to start the year off with a bang with a film called The Tunnel. The Tunnel, it's a little Aussie chiller from 2011 that earned huge praise amongst critics and anyone who saw it at the time. In fact, its current Rotten Tomatoes standing is 100%, but oddly, it remains unknown to even some of horror's most astute fans. So let's take a look, and hopefully I can pique your interest and inspire you to track it down. To be honest with you, I am not the biggest fan of found footage movies, but there are definitely those few that do really work, and The Tunnel is one of them. It also has a really unusual production backstory, and I will get to that in a minute. But first, let me set the scene. The film takes place in the abandoned network of train tunnels beneath Sydney, and the story is set during a major drought when water is desperately low. The government had plans to tap into the massive underwater lake where the tunnel system was flooded many years ago, and without warning, suddenly those plans were abandoned, never spoken of again, and then there were reports of missing homeless people and strange things happening. So the film follows a female journalist and her crew as they venture into the tunnels to investigate the rumours of strange occurrences. Naturally, shit goes ballistic, and we, the viewer, are thrown into a fright show of eerie sounds, massive scares and terrifying entities, and this is one of those found footage movies that works really damn well. There's a mockumentary component to the narrative, I think, which enhances it, with interviews from the crew survivors telling their account of the things that happened. And as I said earlier, the film was developed and funded using a really unique crowdfunding model. At the time, crowdfunding wasn't as prominent as it is now, and funders, or investors, were able to purchase individual digital frames of the film for just $1. Incredibly, they were able to raise a total of $135,000. The film was eventually put out by Paramount Pictures here in Australia, and it had a limited US release over there through a company called Black Rock Films. But perhaps the most controversial aspect was the fact that it was one of the first films to get a distribution through a BitTorrent downloading platform. So this was a free online release on a platform called Vodo. These days, it is much easier to come by digitally. You can find it online. It's even available in full on YouTube. So that is it from me. Thank you for watching. I hope you track down the tunnel. For free on YouTube, so you don't really have any excuses. And find me on Facebook, fakeshemp.net. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next week.
Hello, Scarefest fans. This is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly with your first review of 2020. All right, I'm not going to do any of those Barbara Walters jokes, but what I will tell you about is right now at your local Redbox is probably one of the best movies I saw last year, but I didn't see it till over the break. You know, some of you may be like me, you're broke, you spend all your money on Christmas. I've got a new review I want to do next week of something that's in theaters, but for right now, I want you to go out to your local Redbox and I want you to rent a movie called Ready or Not. Wasn't intending to review it, was actually going to get something else, and I didn't bother to reserve that. It wasn't in, and this was in, and I knew it came out in the fall, and it was a fairly small hit, and I would eventually see it. But I can't tell you how much I enjoyed Ready or Not. The writing is superb, and I guess that's what I loved about it. It may have an ending that pisses some of you off, which actually I think is a good thing. So check out Ready or Not. Here's the plot. It's directed by Matt Olpin and Tyler Gillett, written by Guy Busick and Christopher Murray. These people, they've done some short films. The directors have worked on VHS, a couple other things I hadn't seen, but nothing huge. The reason why you should watch it is here's the plot. Like I said, this bride on her wedding day, she's marrying into a family of little eccentric folks, the top 1%. They've made their millions and billions on board games, on games, in the gaming industry over many generations. She's an orphan, and she's finally getting the family she always wanted. So you kind of understand why she's putting up with a little weirdness. Later that night after they're married, she finds out she has to play a game. And they have this elaborate box that chooses the game. And it could be checkers, could be chess, could be Parcheesi, but it could be, well, you know the rest. Ready or not, here we come. We're going to play hide and seek. So if it pulls hide and seek, well, you know what has to happen. So the bride is running the rest of the night. What I love about this, the spin on it, not to give too much away, is what if somebody in your family, a patriarch or someone, made a deal with the devil many generations back? Would the people today even believe in it? And if they did believe in it, how competent could they be? They've been spoiled by billions of dollars over generations. It's hilarious. Yes, it's a horror comedy, but it's just an entertaining thriller too. I didn't quite know how they would go with it, and I was pleased at every moment. So please go out and see Ready or Not. Rent it at your local Redbox. You won't, well, if you don't like it, I don't care. However, I loved it. I highly encourage you to see it. It's pretty damn good. This is Joe Lewis, Bonehead Weekly. I'll see you next week. Thank you, Scarefest.
Hillbilly Jack here with Mutagen Nation here at Scarefest on the dime of Louisville Halloween. In our quest looking for our Professor Dornack, I have decided that my approach has not been best suited for this type of mission, as I have been thrown and kicked out of several booths. So we are here with the legendary Butterbean, hoping maybe he can give me a few pointers on how not to get kicked out anymore. Sir, throughout your illustrious career, you have been a treasure to this great country, and I just want to say first, thank you.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
And I was wondering if maybe you could give me a pointer or two on how to maybe, not press up my ugly face as much.
Well, if you don't go in the booth, they can't kick you out.
You heard it here first. I can go to any booth I would like. And Butterbean has my back. Sir, may I ask you, is this your first time at Scarefest?
First time here. It just turns out to be a great, great festival.
Excellent. I am so glad that you are here to watch my back. Now, Butterbean, if you'll follow me, we will continue on our journey. That's cool. You stay here, and I'll bring trouble to you. Thank you so much, sir.
Everybody, we're back for just a few moments before we go to our next commercial break in our short for the evening, The Thing From the Otherside. Now, Chad's not seen this unless he went on YouTube and found it. The Thing From the Otherside, everybody. It's kind of a slasher flick, except mostly it's like grubbing hose and blunt objects. Not real bloody, but it's supernatural horror is a genre that it falls into. And my earbud, I have got to find another set of these because this one sucks ass. So anyway, but we did want to go before we get to the final segment. We wanted to remind everybody: volunteer applications, speaker applications, all online, thescarefest.com. Celebrity announcements. Now, it was asked in the chat room. We did not have any ready for tonight, basically because my text didn't get answered. But I am supposed to get briefed tomorrow on where we stand with the list that I already have, that I've been sitting on, that's pissing me off. And one of them's like a slow pitch up the middle. I'm sure the dude's coming, but because they said he was waiting for the final signature back before Christmas. So hopefully that'll be nailed down. So we should be able to get some celebrity announcements going here pretty soon. Didn't have them tonight. Very, very sorry. But once again, we were talking about today, we're still ahead of where we normally are this time of year. I mean, there's some years we didn't even start announcing till February and March. One year, I know it was every bit of March or April before we even started announcing. So in other words, we spoiled you. We brought some out right out of the gate, and then you took it for granted that we could keep it going based on what we had. But
but there's been great announcements already, so we got everybody's appetite up already.
You're absolutely right. And now here's a little side note on the. Of course, one of the announcements was we have the entire cast of the Blair Witch Project, the original. We had not been pushing that for a while on Facebook. We've been using our time to recognize our sponsors and stuff like that, and not giving people the same news over and over. And you know what? So just on a whim yesterday, I went ahead and set it up where we could automatically share that every few days. And you know, there were people that did not realize they were coming. I saw a lot of comments in the chat on the post say, "Oh, this is a good get. Oh, I'm glad to hear this." They don't do this. In other words, they don't do a lot of conventions as a group. So there's my celebrity announcement for tonight. We have I don't even have the names here. Heather Donahue, I remember her. I don't remember the other two. But we have the cast of the original Blair Witch Project. Tony Todd's coming. And I wish I could tell you who the next one is, but I can't because that's the other thing. I got to find out if we're putting him. I'll put it this way: he's good enough. I don't think we better put him above Tony Todd, but he's almost as good of an announcement.
Wow!
So
can't wait.
Yeah, and now tomorrow the briefing will be. Oh, he had to back out because he had to do a show. Such is the life. So we're going to go ahead now. We're going to pop into our final commercial break of the evening. And then we've got our horror short. And everybody, I want to thank you for watching the first episode of Scarefest Television. Sorry things didn't go as we had planned. Hopefully, once flu season is over, everything will be back on track. So, but we'll come back after the short a little bit, talk about it, me and Chad. But we'll be back in a little while.
A
Akashic Awareness is a metaphysical healing and learning center unlike any other. A large selection of crystals, gems, and minerals greet you as you walk in the door, but from that point onward, the journey is yours. They offer a great selection of metaphysical tools, state-of-the-art holistic healing, with classes and lectures scheduled throughout the month. Akashic Awareness is open Tuesday through Saturday, noon until 6:30, 7 on Friday and Saturday. Visit their website for a current calendar of their almost daily special events and guests at akashicawareness.com. And while you are there, be sure to join their email list to stay current. Akashic Awareness, 328 Sycamore Street, Elizabethtown, Kentucky. And don't forget, everyone, Central Kentucky Mystical Market is going on tomorrow, Saturday, January 11th, 2020, the Central Kentucky Mystical Market. 501 West 6th Street at the Plannery, Lexington's premier monthly psychic and holistic market. Look them up on Facebook under Central Kentucky Mystical Market.
Coyote Chris Sutton.
Shamanism.
Spiritual advisement.
Paranormal investigations.
Inspirational presentations.
Bringing light to the darkest places for over 20 years. Go to coyotechris.com to learn more.
Our family tradition in your name.
You really think Michael Myers could kill Jason Voorhees that easily?
Dude, yes. So Michael can stop anything.
All it took to kill Michael was an old dude with a match. Jason never dies. Nothing keeps him back.
Except he's pussy whipped by his mama.
Well, look, at least Jason's got some morals. He won't kill his mom, or even somebody with his mom's sweater. Michael's just a sick fuck, dude. He even killed that dog.
That is true. He did break the golden rule in horror movies. You can kill all the humans you want to, but you can't kill any animals.
Can we stop talking about all these killers? I've been debating about this since high school.
To be continued, Cam.
Where are you taking us, Amber? This is pretty far off. It's worth the walk and drive, trust me. Here it is. Wait, isn't this that place where that creepy old camera's at?
I heard that family did some weird shit here, man.
shop, I guess. I am glad to be out here on this trip with you. It's just something about this place. It feels off.
I mean, it does make me feel a little uncomfortable, but we did always say we wanted to camp out somewhere creepy in the woods.
Yeah, I guess so.
Come on. I mean, you're always talking about horror movies, tough guy.
Yeah.
So, that's the boost. So I thought that was your job, Lauren.
I must have dropped them a little while back. I'll go and get them.
On the double, please. Thank you. Wish I had a beer, man. Where the hell is Lauren at? I'm not going to bed without any beer, man. Not today. My favorite shirt.
Hey, where'd everybody go?
Don't worry about them. They're probably just going to get some privacy or went exploring or something.
I don't know. Cameron's afraid of the dark, and Lauren hasn't wanted anything to do with him since that party last summer.
Come on, he deserves some alone time.
Hey, Lauren, where are you at? Come on out. We're out camping. We're gonna be drinking soon. I say we finish that thing we started last summer. I could throw in some Van Halen, maybe some Slayer. I got it. Yeah. What's over there? What is this?
Amber, where are you? Hello?
Cam?
Almost time, brother. The part over 2-0 then has been open.
Israel, we give you these sacrifices in your name.
Our family tradition. In her name.
Now, from Louisville, Kentucky, this is TV News Tonight.
Hello, this is Ash from Channel 3 News. There's a breaking story out here in Myers Park. You can see it's calm now, but hours ago, many kids left their lives on this ground. And it turns out this is no hoax. This has been an Indian burial grounds, and this has also been subject to many rituals in the past few years. And people have connected it to many different theories, but maybe the one about the ritual is true due to the graphic nature and the pentagrams carved into their bodies.
And welcome back, everybody. That was our horror short for the evening. The Thing from the Other Side. That was, Miles was telling us last time, that was one of his, you could tell by what the VHS footage and the Walkman, that was done several years ago. One of his earlier works, but was glad to share it. And my wife didn't puke or anything, so that's always that means it got her approval. So we're ready to say goodnight, everybody. But when we leave you here, we're going to go ahead. We're going to play our Billy Crank segment. Billy Crank goes this week. He goes chasing spirits, and so we're going to play that here in just a moment and call it a night. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I'm sorry that we didn't have our guest tonight, Jessica Knoll. We will be having her back. Chad, thanks for winging it with me once again.
Thanks for having me. Always enjoy it. And let me wish everybody out there a happy new year, since this is the first show of the year.
And we'll be back next week with more Scarefest Television.
at a disclosed location, and we're going to be chasing spirits along with chasing some ghosts. So, let's do the...
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Alright, why'd you have to give me so much?
That's what she said.
Alright. Hey, what's up, man?
Not much.
All right, we are gonna make our way through this haunted location. As you can tell, we all partook in the liqueur beverages.
Liqueur.
So, if you'll join us into the 3rd level of hell.
Well, you told me the 2nd level.
Now, I wonder if there's any stories to go with this, the entrance to this place here.
I do know a story.
What kind of story?
From the premises. So I know that the guy that used to live here and own this property, like, committed suicide, and a lot of the people that work here have reported that they've seen crazy things go on here.
All right, let's see if we can hear anything. Cameraman, let's get you over there in the corner.
Let's ask a few questions.
Okay, what kind of questions would you?
Okay.
What would be appropriate? What would be appropriate?
Okay. If there's anybody in here, can you make a noise and let us know where you're at? Y'all hear that?
Does anybody have somebody who has passed away here?
Is there anybody in here with us?
Did you hear that?
I'll drink for that.
Hey, I'm not there yet.
Oh shit! Man, that scared the crap out of me. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I hear it.
Somebody tapping?
Are we drunk?
Not yet. Man, this hallway is creepy. This is creepy, man. All right, there's arrows. Let's see here. All right. Let's see here. It looks like this is a bathroom. That tapping. What is that, man?
It's getting louder.
It is. It sounds like more than a few taps going on. That's kind of freaking me out. And it's getting louder as we go through.
I think we're getting close.
Do you guys want to continue with this?
I don't know.
What about you, Dres? Do you want to continue or?
I'm okay with it.
Are you okay? You're okay with the tapping, all that tapping noises and stuff, and like you just want to like go on through it.
I want to see what's behind it because I want to see what's going on.
Okay.
If Dres is in, I'm in.
Okay. All right. Take a drink. Yeah. And cheers. Cheers. Chasing spirits or whatever the hell's in here. Oh, I'm ready.
We need to get out of here?
I'm ready to get the hell out of here, but since you guys are going, I ain't going to be the wimp out of the three of us.
Just learn how to say me.
Yeah. The royal me. You know?
Oh, okay.
Man, be careful. Watch your step there, Richard. Hey, you all right? You okay? You okay? What was that?
Was that you?
No?
Man, This place is creepy. Did you hear that?
I did.
Riz?
Yeah, I heard it.
Wow, that is insane.
What's next? That's just stuff down, man. Dude, we got. Hey, take a drink, quick. Take a drink. Take a drink. Take a drink. Quick. Here. Right now, man. Where are you going? Do you know where you're going? Don't get lost, man. Please don't. What are you doing?
I thought there was somebody over here.
What the hell are you doing? No, dude. Let's go. We gotta stick together.
Yeah, we never want to separate from each other.
No.
Ever.
Dude, what are you doing? What are you thinking? You're just like walking off like you know where the hell you're going. It's crazy, man. Damn. Oh man. All right. I gotta take a. Yeah, I gotta take a drink.
You good?
I gotta take a drink.
Okay.
Oh shit. Oh man.
Oh, somebody just shut that fucking door.
Did you hear that?
Hey, you go check it out.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you
check
it out?
You go check it out. You go check it out.
Me?
You do it.
Why? Man, guys.
You look close.
Oh shit, it's just a cat. It was a cat. It was a cat.
Okay. We're good. We're good. Everybody good?
All right, let's get out of here. Come on, let's get out of here. We gotta work our way out.
It's okay.
Okay. Well, hey, here. We gotta get the hell out of here. Let's go.